started seeing on TikTok, I'm just like, that's my man. They was like, no, honey, that's my man. Got rid of him. I was like, how'd you do it? I'm not wrapped too tight. I honestly wasn't going to continue with this series, but I talked with 2 different people and received messages from several others, and I was like, okay, God, here we go. I'm not trying to expose anyone here. I'm just trying to tell my story. Okay, so I feel like a lot. Whoa. Okay, so I feel like a lot of the videos in these series is they're gonna be all over the place. I have to shoot this stuff when I can, because I realize now that sometimes I get triggered, and some days I'm just like, great, grand, healing journey, I'm fine. This is helping me, it's therapeutic. Same thing with creating these videos. There's times when it's therapeutic and there's times where it doesn't feel like it, and I do not force myself to do this because I've been through enough. But I know this does help me and it helps somebody else. So sometimes you're going to see me in different outfits in the same video. And I decided, like, okay, who cares? First I was like, no, I have to shoot it all at one time. I have to do that. It's like, no more pressure. Because if God gave this to me for you, for me, then, you know, it's going to be. And sometimes I can laugh, and it's okay to laugh in some of these more serious videos because that's my natural personality, and that's what you will see on my channel. And we won't even be talking about this half the time. We'll be talking about saving money, budgeting, and maybe even making it soon, because I'm supposed to be doing money making videos. But anyway, the point rather is that, you know, I'm freeing myself a lot from like my own judgment first and others' judgments, and just learning how to be me and be okay. And I feel like I'm there, but I feel like that's a process. Like, even though it's like, dang, I've come such a long way, I'm there with this, I'm there with my self-awareness, I'm there with my self-esteem, I haven't arrived. When I say I'm there, there's a difference. These are my terminologies and definitions. There and arrived. Like, I will never have arrived in my mind, because that means I stopped learning and stopped growing. I stopped the self-awareness journey, the self-healing journey. It's all a process. It's a journey, just like my walk with God. Everything is like a journey to me now. And so I just pay attention to where I'm at in the journey and making sure that I'm not digressing. And if I am, go and get yourself together, because, you know, it's just about growth. It's about growth. It's not about perfection. It's not about, so I'm like learning not to be so hard on myself with these videos, with the editing, and just get these videos up and just get the message out. And the message of today is, I got love bombed. Now I got love bombed into it. So why am I even caught up on this topic of narcissism? Because I know that's what you're thinking. Well, because I spent the last 5 years of my life in what I now know was a narcissistic relationship. And because I didn't want to see all of those red flags, God allowed me, in all of my praying, to view it through different lenses. And God opened my eyes of what this behavior looks like through a neighbor who dragged me in and out of court for 2 years, all while harassing me. Honey, them red flags was flying after that. But if you're a believer, you truly understand that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And when I tell you, if you pray for something, you better be ready for the answer. So whether that's to let something go or to let go of some things within you and change.
How? Hold on, bro. How? What do you mean by that?
Sometimes we want our healing and relief to come in a certain package or look a certain way. And so when we don't see it how we want it, we can't accept it. But when I tell you, I am so thankful to be in this place because I know what it feels like to be so burdened down. These two people were my biggest burdens turned blessings. And wow, like I don't even think back then when I was going through the things I was going through, I would ever be at this place. But if you get nothing else from this video, I'm telling you, I understand another level of just giving something over to God. Or even if you don't believe, at the very least, letting go of things you cannot control and not giving your power away to other people. You cannot control what other people do. You can only control yourself. And when you allow them to work you up, to get you out of control, and trust me, as a high... I'm not claiming it anymore, but as somebody who had high anxiety over a lot of things, it's not easy, but it taught me a lot about my anxiety and about other things and how reacting to others, allowing others to get to me, judge me, is all a part of giving away my power. I am in control of me. I am in control of how I feel and what I do. And I have a choice, even when others seemingly don't give me one. I have the choice. I went from restless nights to high levels of anxiety and stress to taking back my power and gaining back control of my life by handing it over to God. And it's not that I wasn't his child. It's not that I wasn't following him. But I truly, truly had to say, Lord, I'm yours. Take this. Take this burden from me. And he showed me what to do. As a result of these horrible situations and years of what I felt like was just suffering, God gave me a new level of calmness, patience, and awareness, self-awareness that I would not have gained otherwise. But this also came as a result of my mother. Of course, both my parents have planted seeds in me, but at this time, my mother, some things she was like really, helping me with as far as understanding all of this. Taking care of my aunt, believe it or not, because she's a full-time caretaker of my special needs aunt. And by me taking on some of that burden for her, it really, really taught me a lot and helped me understand the gravity of what I was in and where God's trying to take me. Let's talk about phase one. Let's talk about the love bombing phase, because this is how many of us could judge. When you're trying to speak to your friends or family or tell someone else, if you choose to do so, I originally didn't at all. They don't understand because, again, just look at how people respond to the Risa Tisa and all of these other things. And I believe she probably was in a narcissistic relationship, and I couldn't even watch all her videos because I was just triggered by watching one. So I watched a recap and just kind of got an idea of like why it became so popular and, what it was about. And so, what happens is people don't understand that, well, if they know you and they see you as a well put together person or somebody who wouldn't accept certain things, they might understand. But a lot of people just think you're a fool, or they think like, well, why would you put up with that? Why would you do that? Are you crazy? And so, no, that's not typically it. Yes, a lot of people are empathic. Because I know some of y'all Christians out here with this. When I say empath, it is not
witchcraft or like some sort of sorcery. Look up the word empath, empathic. So if I say empath, it doesn't mean I'm like practicing something else, but there are some people, and I found out from somebody saying it to me one time, that are just empathic. And so we are more prone or vulnerable to things like this, because we take on the feelings of others, and we can even be strong-minded go-getters. I don't put up with nothing. Those type of people often do fall for these relationships because of the love bombing phase. This is where you are treated like a queen. Or if you weren't treated like a queen, you're actually, believe it or not,
He's beginning to believe.
being studied so that whatever you lack or need or like, it's being catered to. It's being provided in this love bombing phase.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Because they want you to need them, to want them. They want to make you happy. Even if it's too later on, control and manipulate you, they do pursue you. Some good intentions, some not. Because we're going to get into, this is a personality disorder, guys. That's why I said in another video, don't throw that word around loosely. Don't use it lightly. Those of us who have been through this and understand this know. So whether you were with a covert,
these are the victimized, vulnerable, anxious, socially less skilled, sullen, and resentful narcissists.
so whether you were with a covert or a malignant, like, because most people think of the whole Donald Trump cult leader type of people. It's not always that. And covert is not less dangerous than that too.
So I got love bombed into it because I got love bombed into the narcissistic relationship that I was in because I was prepped for it. I was literally, they say you choose with your trauma, and I believe that. I really believe that, and I believe people choose you based on their trauma, as well as like they can see like how they can fulfill your needs. So whether they're trying, like they're a narcissistic person or not, whether they're plotting and planning, because I don't believe all narcissists go in with the intention of like not fulfilling your needs anymore. I do feel like in the love bombing phase or stage, they do like put you on this pedestal, and they do admire you, and they do like want to do all these great things that they're just not going to be able to hold up to. Now there's levels to this. So there are some people who intentionally come in and promise you the world, make all these promises knowing they're going to ditch you, or with intentions to like do this to later on become themselves, control you, and do all these evil manipulative things. Yes, they're out there too, but I believe a lot of them, because they never take accountability or never self-reflect or see anything they've done in the past, they don't even see their patterns. They know at certain points, they know when they're doing right from wrong. Let's not do this. Personality disorder or not, narcissistic, just some traits or not, they know right from wrong what they're doing. Because I'm no longer giving that pass, because I did that a long time. But it's a matter of like the pattern of doing it and seeing, and their levels of like self-awareness and all. They can't have that because they're too busy trying to run from accountability, gaslighting you, and doing all kinds of other things to even see themselves the same way. Like literally, if I look in the mirror, I can see myself. I can see, my hand. If I look in the mirror, I can see myself, like the literal mirror, and then the, what do we call it?
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't know.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Symbolic mirror, right, of who I am. I can look at myself, I can see my flaws, I can see the good things, the bad things, and it takes a while to even be that aware to do it right. And so they have no self-awareness, no awareness of how they make others feel, awareness but not, okay? So it's really weird. So I would say that it doesn't matter why they're love bombing you, as much as we should start paying attention to the flags of like somebody moving really quickly falling in love with you, and I'm not saying this happened in my situation, but it's like saying I love you really quickly, doing all these things really quickly, doing like just being over the top, wanting to move in really quickly together, just any type of like over the top, rushing the relationship. I did hear the guy that I follow, he's a self-aware narcissist, and then also someone else say that they rushed, another psychologist, that they rushed a relationship either because they know, or eventually it goes up quickly and it goes down quickly. You know, like you start dating somebody and stuff that should be happening like 2, 3, 4 years down the road are happening within the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months. Red flags. Okay, I'm not saying all people, all relationships, all situations, but that is something to be aware of, because that thing that's going up like real fast, like a roller coaster, is going to go down really fast. But that's what they do. They take you on highs and lows and emotional roller coasters. So then you look crazy, like you stayed with somebody that was doing this. It's like, no, we started off here. And yes, we went down and I should have left. But then when I left, because a lot of times my stuff was like me, yo, I'm out. When he met me, maybe I was struggling more with some things, but I was even growing, even in the midst of the depression and the chaos that started to build around that relationship. God was really still intentional on bringing things to my forefront and helping me to see like some of my self-esteem issues, some of my other stuff. But instead of leaving, as he was giving me these things and allowing me to get stronger, I was like staying in the same situation that was doing the opposite. The enemy was just using that situation. So anyway, and even when I met him, like I had worked through a lot of my self-esteem issues and things like that. So it's just weird. And I was on this other type of journey where I was trying to find God outside of church and religion, and people's judgment. Even of me saying that would have been something I wouldn't say, because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna do blah, 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 blah. This is my journey. This is me and God. Me and you, God. This ain't them. So anyway, I realized that like I met him all on this path to like finding myself, being to myself. Because I remember even saying like, I don't be in a relationship, I'm be to myself. Even when I met him, I won't say where he worked and almost how I met him, because that's just gonna be too much. But yeah, it was just like I was on this, like I was doing something you wouldn't normally do by yourself. I was like, and I don't care. It's me. It's about me. Like back where I'm at right now. Yeah, 5 years of it got snatched from me. But I really was like discovering me. And so outside of relationships. And so, okay, you really gonna come through while I'm recording text message? And so, yeah, I was like, all right, well, you know, just be a little more open to this, because I was like being really crazy, especially after my marriage failed. I was just like, people are like coming in my life and even just trying to like date me or something. And instead of me just not dating at all, I would just take them up on a phone call or a few texts and dates and just be like, what? I got time for this. I was like that crazy person. It was just like, did you just sneeze wrong? Never mind. I don't even want, so I shouldn't even have been dating. I remember talking to somebody and he was doing again, like normal though, too much. He was doing all this in the beginning and I knew it was going to fall off. And the minute he fell off, I think he thought I was mad that he fell off with texting. I was just like, no, I hate when people like, good morning, text me to death, good morning me to death with all this stuff. And I know you're not, I can even tell now from your personality, like, this is not something you're going to keep doing. But then when I finally feed into it, because I already was like sitting on, I'm like sitting on ready, like, nah, I ain't even gonna get all into this. And then when I finally do dive in, you start not completely ghosting me, but like it's like ghost sounds like weird. It's like now you're kind of letting me play that role. No, that's not what we're gonna do. So I remember like really quickly shutting something down, basically like breaking up with somebody that was trying to be with me and I wasn't even trying to be in a relationship with. So they were like, we're not even together, but you broke up with me. Like, this is like, how is that possible? It's possible. I was just crazy then. So I broke up with somebody that I told weren't going down a relationship path. And so that's when I knew I should have been to myself. And then I kind of like did it for a little while longer and then met this guy. Then met my narc. And so yeah, me and the narc was like, oh, let me study you for a little minute. Let me see what you need. Let me see what you lack. Let me see what your trauma is. And I'm sure he didn't just sit there and do that, but he did it and fulfilled those things right away. And then was like, snatch. You wanna die? That's all you wanna die, baby. You wanna die? Snatched. Or tried to snatch my soul. So anyway, tried to snatch it all back from me, and not only not to give me those things, which is fine because it's like, okay, we all ain't perfect, we all kind of do some stuff. Like, no, like I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to now take this same emotional availability that I pretend to have, and I'm going to not only just snatch it back, because, you know, some men are not emotionally available, some women are not emotionally available, but I'm going to give you the silent treatment. For no reason, for good reasons. When you make me mad, when you don't do anything at all, I'm going to stonewall you. So it's just like, whoa, what? You have to experience it to know it. And it's not about just having a quiet partner or spouse. No, this is the next level. And it feels so emotionally abusive and wrong. And it's done so randomly or as a punishment. I'll just be honest. If you've been in it, you know. It feels like a punishment or it feels random. So we'll get into that because some people can relate to certain things. Some people, it's just going to sound like I'm just rambling. Oh yeah, so I was saying that, like, basically I got love bombed into this, and a lot of different emotions, a lot of different things allow me to stay. I actually was like manipulated back into it, which again, I take blame for that too. Like, I allowed myself to believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't. I mean, I believed the hype that wasn't even the hype. Like, meaning there was no real hype behind it. I could see the hype from a mile away because it was done the same way. Like, I was proposed to 3 times when I broke up with this person. So I already knew, like, or like stuff all of a sudden that I needed or was missing or I didn't even know I needed. I would get text message about, like, hey, you want to, you know, you need somebody to clean your roof. You need to, hey, I know that camera you've been wanting to film. Like, what? We're not together. So all of a sudden, like, obvious manipulation. Kind of knew sometimes it was kind of that, but like still fell for it because my emotions, my heart, my empathic side was there. Because even the guilt trips of like, oh, what was me, oh, I can't believe I can't get nothing right, I'm gonna try, like sometimes it wasn't even like I'm gonna try to win you back or I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna make a sob story, I'm gonna act like I'm going through stuff because I know you're so empathic, you're gonna feel bad, and that's gonna be the key to me talking to you and reeling you back in. So these are the types of things that was happening to me. Doesn't mean it happened to you, doesn't mean your situation was the same, doesn't mean you're even in a narcissistic relationship. Be very careful with it, because trust me, you won't. After watching 1 or 2 videos like this, not just for me, I'm just talking about in general, you will know, because only we can relate to what we're talking about. It is like patterns. Everybody's different, everybody's an individual. There are certain patterns and things that you hear and you're like, that's my relationship. I remember just the first time I ever was watching something about it, because I didn't come to revelation of this in like therapy initially. So I was like watching somebody talk about it. I'm just like, what is my relationship? And like I said, I had already started researching and then being in denial of, like, every time I was trying to help our relationship, that they were saying this is like narcissistic traits, and what I was feeling was narcissistic abuse. And I'm like, what? This is not, what? That's not even what narcissism is. Like, I know what narcissism is. But once I got to deny that, and I had like come across some videos, and you know how it happens. The algorithm, YouTube, Facebook, they're going to start feeding you stuff even if you're talking to your girlfriend or talking to somebody about it. So you definitely typing and researching, they like videos. And I was like, what? And I heard these personal stories and people, then I start seeing on TikTok, and I'm just like, that's my man. They was like, no, honey, that's my man. Got rid of him. I was like, how'd you do it? None of them really, I don't know. There's people out there telling you, but none of the ones I had really told me. They were just struggling. So I didn't want to be doing the struggling video. So I'm on my healing journey now. So I want to help you who is struggling. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this, because it's really me unveiling and being like, I am a very, believe it or not, I'm a very open, private person. So it looks like I share a lot on social media, but my relationships don't even get shared in my personal life or on social media. A lot of times, like, there are people who didn't even know I was in a 5-year relationship that know me, maybe not are close to me, but know me very well. And so I am like doing something that I normally wouldn't do, only because, and I still wouldn't, like, I'm still, I think it's a dangerous thing sometimes that I'm so protective of relationships, just like my marriage ending, and people other than my parents, people not really understanding there were any issues there, or like, you know, because I keep so much in. You should, and I do suggest, especially if you feel like you're in some type of narcissistic relationship, find somebody you can confide in, at least one person, or a safety guard or net or person, because you never know how crazy these types of relationships can get, because again, I call it spectrums. They're on the spectrum somewhere. I don't know, I'm not a psychologist. I call it, and you don't know, and even mine got a little threatening. So I don't want to say too much, because like that's the thing, like a lot of people don't even know who I'm talking about. But if someone can put together which relationship, when, where, and how, because I am so private, they might. And so I'm very careful with what I say, because I'm sharing my journey, my experience, as well as like, you know, this person, they're a part of it. But I'm careful not to like try to expose them or make this about them as much as it is about me, my experience, and the two people who confirmed that this is necessary, this is needed.
I'm very calm, talking low. I'm usually very hype, energetic. And that's because this is the feeling I get when I talk about this, because of how exhausting and draining it was on me and my purpose and my personality. Because that's what they do. They come to drain you, to pull you from purpose. They come to take the very best of you that they liked, the things that they even liked about you and that others like about you, and make sure that they destroy it. I hate to say it like that, but that's the only way to put it. You know how the enemy comes. Kill, steal, destroy. And he'll use anybody who lets him. So I'm here. Obviously, I'm thriving, I'm surviving, I'm not destroyed.